Welcome to Lesson 3. The next consonant we're covering is the bet or vet. The vet looks like this. I start up here and come down and then go across. So write 5 or more bets or 5 or more bets. Now, the bet has a dot. See, the bet does not have a dot. It's transliterates as a V, as in vine, and the bet transliterates as a B in boy. This dot is called a doggish. Okay? So the doggish sometimes doubles the consonant. Sometimes it just changes the sound like it did here. It went from a V to a B. So in our ancient, here's our bet. See, it's this one right here. Now that, it said, picture is a tent, a house, a family inside. So it does look kind of like something like that. Now when we look at our consonants, here's the bet and the vet. They're number 2. Numbers do not have a doggish. So the vet is number 2. So here we have it transliterates as a V or a B. Now the B up here, like I said, when we go to the interlinear, it uses a different transliteration method, and so it may have it as a B. Okay? So the bet or vet can be used as a prefix, and it's usually in, at, or with, and it's used 227 times as a prefix. So let's look here. Here it is as a prefix, in, within, on. So it can be used as a prefix. So the next one is a ayin, and it's another silent letter. So it takes on the sound of the vowel. So the ayin, when we go to our, now the way I do the ayin is I come down here and to the left, and then I add that little piece on there. So write 5 or more ayin down here. Now when we look at the ancient ayin, it looks like an eyeball or something, doesn't it? So that's what its picture is, an eye, see, watch, know. Okay? So then we get to our next one, a lamed. Now a lamed extends above the line. So it's above the line. So we write the lamed like this, and I start at the top and come down and over. And it transliterates as an L, so write 5 or more of those down here. This is one of my favorite constants. And now the ancient lamed, it looks like a J. So they say it looks like a staff, maybe an upside down shepherd's hook, guide, teach, control, or lead. And when we look at our constants, the lamed is number 30. And it transliterates as an L. So a lot of these transliterate just like what you think. So a bet would be a B. And I think we covered the dalet would be a D. The hay would be a H. The vav would be a V. The zayin, a Z. the ket, the ch. See? So a lot of them transliterate the same. Now the lamed can also be used as a prefix, and it is used as a prefix about 386 times. So, and it will probably look like one of these. And so when we look at our lexicon, here's the lamed. It may be one of those. Unto, to, toward, for. So could be one of those. Now when we look at our lamed, our ancient lamed, there it was a J. All right. So then we want to transliterate these. So this would be a V. So write a V here for victory. And this would be a B for boy. And this is a lamed for late. Lake. Lamed. So we've talked about a few prefixes so far. So here's a list of prefixes. So the bet or bet, in, on, or went, within, 227 times. A dollar, 347. The hay can also be the valve, 751 times. And this one's 63, and there's our lamed, 386. Here's our mem, and it's from or of, and here's the sheen, and it's a who, which, that, or for. So those some Aramaic prefixes. So then we get into the word for gold, and it has 2 syllables, and it's strong 1722, and it's used 23 times. So here is gold. So we start out with the dalet, which is a D, and then we've got the shavah, and we said if the shavah is under the first constant in the word, it's pronounced. And it's a E vowel, so it's D-E, and then we have the hay, and the patak, and a vet. So it's dehav, dehav. And so we have it here, dehav. See, they did a B instead of a V. So that's that other transliteration. And it's the word for gold. Okay? So then here we have, this would transliterate as the gold. Remember I said if we have the quamats aleph at the end, that's the suffix the. So here we have da, ha, va. Dahava. Here it's dehav. Here it's dahava. So if I say dehav, I'm just saying the word gold. If I say dehava, then I'm saying the gold. And you can find this in Daniel 5:1. Again, this is book print, whereas this is close as I could get to block print. But this is book print. So this has the quamats aleph at the end, which is the suffix the. So our next word is a verb, to know, and so it has 2 syllables. So we'll go here to our so we have a yod and a shavah. So it's a Y-E, a dalet, and a patak, and this one's silent. So it's yeda, yeda, Yeda. So it's Yeda. Okay? So let's look at our lexicon, and here it is here. See, he has Yeda. Yeda. And it's in the New American Standard, they translated it as made known, know, make known, known, recognize, inform, informed. So these are some other ones here. And that's why we have so many different versions of the Bible. Depends on who translates it. Our next word is know or not. And it is written like this. So we have the lamed with the quamats, and the aleph is silent. So we have a L-A. And the Hebrew word is L-O. So la or lo. La or lo. So in Hebrew, remember, we didn't have vowels. So in Hebrew, we have a lamed and an aleph with no vowel. In the Aramaic, we have a lamed and an aleph with no vowel. But one of them is pronounced la and one of them is pronounced lo. But they didn't have any vowels. So that's why when Peter denied Christ 3 times, he was saying in Aramaic, la, and they were thinking lo. And so they knew right away he was from Galilee because of the way he was speaking. So every time he denied Christ, all 3 times, everybody in Jerusalem knew exactly he was lying to them because he talked different than they did. So that's the difference between Hebrew and Aramaic. So that ends lesson 3.